Okay. Well, uh, everybody, I suppose we're gonna have to do a re-roll on that one. Well, oh boy. Okay, everybody, hello. Welcome to the Interstellar Gateway stream of SpaceX's Crew-10 mission. Um, well, sorry about that, everybody. Um, Well, we're starting a bit early today, just like the SpaceX stream, watching our astronauts come to the International Space Station. Because, well, what's better than a good pre-show? I'm Perigi, your one of your hosts for the evening, and I'm joined by my other co-hosts, Joshua Anti-Person, just the letter K, Miranda, and possibly Brandon Wynn, our photographer, who might be joining and popping in from time to time. Joshua, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
For sure. I'm Joshua. You might know me as Ancient Person on all my socials. I'm excited to see Crew-10 launch. Let's send some astronauts to the International Space Station.
Awesome. Awesome, Kay, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, friends. This is Kay Anagonio, otherwise known as just the letter K, videographer for Interstellar Gateway. Also excited for this Crew-10 mission, which is the 11th flight of the Dragon spacecraft. Very, very excited for this one.
Awesome. Let's see, Miranda, would you like to introduce yourself?
Excellent. As per usual, we are in for a treat. You may know me on Twitter and various other places. I do apologize for the wind noise. I am currently at the National Mall in Washington, D.C., so we are out in the wild here for this stream. Yeah, I am glad to be here with all of you.
Awesome. Well, that's the cast for today. Now let's talk about the mission. Today we are watching SpaceX's Crew-10 launch. The 10th. Oh boy. The 11th launch of Crew Dragon with Crew, the first being the Demo 2 mission. And, oh wait, hold on, sorry. Let's see, am I fighting the SpaceX audio? Am I fighting the SpaceX audio here? Are we all good? I hope we're all good here. There we go. Someone in the back channel has reminded me to change my microphone because apparently it is terrible, and God bless. Alrighty, well, we are watching Crew-10 today, the 11th launch of Crew from SpaceX, and of course the 10th in the actual crew rotations to the International Space Station. This mission will be delivering a full complement of 4 crew to the International Space Station, as opposed to the last mission, which only launched 2. This mission will be allowing the 2 astronauts, Butch and Sunny, who launched on the Starliner test flight, to launch last flight. And all right. Sorry about that. Quick thing in the back channel. We will be watching 4 astronauts today launch to the International Space Station. We will be watching astronauts Anne McClain, pilot Richard Ayers, along with the mission specialists from JAXA, Touka Onoshi, and the Roscosmos cosmonaut Kryly Peskov, who will be the members of today's flight going to orbit.
And for everyone watching on the ground, we do have Brandon Wynn out at KSC in Florida to capture some views for you guys. Super excited to have everybody here with us. And yeah, I mean, this mission is, there's quite a few things going on. Obviously, it's another rotational mission for SpaceX's human space transportation system, as Perigi mentioned. But also, like he said, Butch and Sunny will be returning to Earth aboard this Crew Dragon, so that's also super exciting, and we have some plans to capture their return as well in the near future. We are obviously just waiting for a date for that, but very, very excited for them to come home, even though they're obviously having a blast up there. Where else would you rather be than doing the thing you love in the place you love. And so I'm sure they're still stoked to be up there, but probably also a bit ready to come home and see their families and get back on Earth.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
no, I would.
Agreed. Oh, Lord. Chad is correcting us. It is the 16th launch of Crew Dragon with Crew. Of course, obviously, Crew Dragon has not just served the International Space Station in its time. It has also done various private missions, such as Inspiration 4 and Polaris Dawn, which, of course, you might be familiar with from last year. And, of course, the appointment of the lead astronaut of both of those missions, Jared Isaacman, as the nominee for the NASA Administrator.
Good old Jared Isaacman,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
creator of Shift 4, or patenter of Shift 4, which works on all major credit card readers. And, made a bunch of money, wanted to fly some jets, started flying jets, and then became an astronaut. Because what do you do? What's the next step? And now, as Faragi said, he's been nominated as the basically appointee for NASA under Trump's administration. Very cool.
Yeah.
And we'd
Yeah, I
also
didn't
be
know
remiss
how-
to mention.
Sorry, go ahead.
The Dragon rotations so far, which are private International Space Station flights. The Dragon is truly getting up there.
Okay, well, yes, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Butch and Sunny will not be coming home on this specific Dragon. That is correct. This is Crew 10. Butch and Sunny are going to come back on the mission for Crew 9, which is, of course, the astronaut mission that was launched without the two crew earlier, I believe late last year, I think. And because of that, we will be only seeing again, full complement of 4 crew today, but this mission being launched will allow Butch and Sunny to leave the International Space Station and come home, where they will be, arrive safely on Earth completely comfortably.
But speaking of astronauts, why don't we talk about the very brave 4 astronauts on this crew today? On this flight, we've got Commander Anne McClain, who has a total of 203 days in space and 2 EVAs off the International Space Station, which is pretty insane. And then we've also got pilot Nicole Ayers, who, by the way, is a resident of Colorado Springs, so there's some Colorado representation in this crew and in this commentary group. This will be Nicole Ayers' first spaceflight, actually, which is pretty exciting. We've also got JAXA astronaut Takuya Onishi, I believe. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. He previously spent about 4 months on the International Space Station. And this will be his second spaceflight. And then finally, we've got Roscosmos cosmonaut Kirill Peskov. And this will be his first spaceflight.
Incredible. Yeah, no. It's quite a varied crew on this. NASA astronaut Anne McClain has, again, as mentioned, was a flight engineer for the Expeditions 58 and 59, and again completed various spacewalks. She's mostly been involved with NASA all of her life. Nicole Ayers, test pilot, who actually helped test the F-22 Raptor, which is quite an interesting thing and quite a qualification for being placed in skies, and has over 200 combat flight hours, which is impressive. The other very noticeable thing is we have some pilot representation on this flight, who was Kirill Peskov, the Russian attaché to this flight, was very much not a test pilot, sorry. He was a commercial pilot for Boeing 757 and 757 and 767s for airlines Nordwind and Ilkar. It is quite a varied crew with quite a bit of varied experience.
shall we go over the launch to dock timeline? Imlin in the back channel, do you happen to have this? If not, I will send it to you now. I think it could be interesting for the audience to follow along with, so they kind of know what is set to happen in this flight.
Okay, well, here we go. I can pull up a version of the timeline.
I'm grabbing it now.
Awesome. Yes, I am. There we go. In the meantime, Kay, could you talk a little bit about the history of the Dragon program, how, they first got selected and were sent to the International Space Station?
I can indeed talk a bit about the Dragon program. Sorry, I'm just trying to send that info over to Emlyn in the back channel. Yeah, so the SpaceX's Crew Dragon, for those that don't know, was developed as part of NASA's Commercial Crew program. It's a reusable spacecraft, which is kind of SpaceX's MO, to design and reuse different types of spacecraft and components along the way. The Crew Dragon is not only, like we were saying, going to the ISS, but I think that is one of their main mission objectives is to initially get to Crew Dragon to resupply the ISS. So SpaceX did win the contract in 2006 to use the Dragon for commercial resupply. In 2012, the original Dragon cargo spacecraft Dragon 1 became the first private spacecraft to reach the ISS. 2014, SpaceX unveiled the 7-seat Crew Dragon concept, which is very exciting and quite a feat. 2019, uncrewed demonstration flight Demo 1 that Perigi briefly talked about docked with the ISS. And in 2020, first crewed demonstration flight Demo 2 launched 2 NASA astronauts to the ISS. And SpaceX launched its first operational commercial crew program flight, Crew-10, carrying 4 astronauts to the ISS that same year. In 2021, we had the Crew Dragon Endeavour that was launched on the SpaceX Crew-2 mission. 2022, Crew Dragon Freedom launched on the SpaceX Crew-4 mission. 2023, Crew Dragon Endeavour was used for the SpaceX Crew-6. And 2024, Crew Dragon Endeavour was used again for the SpaceX Crew-8 mission. And then lastly, last year in 2024, Crew Dragon Freedom was used for the SpaceX Crew-9 mission. Would you like me to go over design features, anything like that?
No, I mean, seeing as we now have the expected timeline for this
Perfect.
mission, I think we can go over that. And then, of course, I think we can move on to some of the design features of the Dragon capsule after.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, beginning, what should have already happened by now at this point, crew has already ingressed into the Dragon spacecraft. They should be sitting down right now comfortably in the capsule, getting ready, of course, to lift off in their own personal ride to space. Already, the hatch should be closed. The access arm will have already retracted. The Dragon launch escape has already been the arm will be retracting in a little bit, I believe, over 20 minutes here at about T-minus 42 minutes. The launch escape will be armed at about 38 minutes. Then prompt load will begin at 35 minutes. The stage 1 engine chill will happen at 7 minutes. And prompt load will complete, and Falcon 9 will transition to internal power at about 2 minutes before launch. 45 seconds before, of course, launch director will give the final go. And then, of course, at 0 seconds to liftoff, the rocket will lift off. Okay, would you like to go over some of the events that immediately happened after liftoff?
Absolutely. Shortly after liftoff, at about 2.5 minutes, T plus 2.5 minutes, we will have second stage ignition, followed by SECO, 7 minutes roughly, a little bit under 7 minutes later at T plus 9 minutes, 2 seconds. And then we will have separation and SS Draco checkouts shortly after that, followed by nose cone deploy and a go or no-go for approach initiation burn at T plus 8 hours, 20 minutes. It does take quite a while to get to their rendezvous point with the ISS. And then, shortly after that, approach burn, and then followed by, waypoint checkouts, no goes for that. Docking access arrival, no go for docking, and then no. In the best scenario, contact and capture of Crew Dragon to the ISS.
Of course. Ideally, in no such circumstances would we be in a situation where there would be no contact and capture. That would be
Correct.
quite the bad occurrence.
They wouldn't even get close to a point like that. That's why all these no-goes are a part of the timeline to keep these Astros safe on their journey.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as you can see right there in the picture that we have pulled up, we have the SpaceX crew tower for the Falcon 9 rocket. You can see the transporter erector right behind the rocket, letting out a little bit of venting propellant. I believe that is liquid oxygen. And you can see the water tower right behind that. I do not believe that the launch pad for Starship, the 39A Starship pad, is visible in this shot, but you can get a good view of the majority of the Starship infrastructure. Now, of course, dealing with the troublemakers in our live stream chat, Joey Leal, ever wonderful CEO of Interstellar Gateway, the company that we today are broadcasting for, has commented, Interstellar Gateway. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Leal, for your incredible support of your own company, and certainly, definitely intentional harassment to make me read that out on live stream. Thank you very much, sir.
Now look at that shot that we have there. That is the Starship tower that is placed just adjacent to the Falcon 9 launch pad.
Yeah, there we go. You can see the arms, the Mechazilla arms at the bottom there, lowered and opened. This is quite a bit of a change from how they've been for around, I think, the past 2 years nearly. Those arms have not been very active at all. However, recently we've seen them opening, closing. I believe that the last time that we saw them open was around 2 weeks ago, and this is the beginning of Starship operations in Florida. It's still waiting on the final construction of the launch pad, and of course, they're very much waiting to see how the one in Boca Chica performs before implementing the final changes to the ones that they want to make in the Florida launch pad. However, once we start seeing construction clear up in the Boca Chica pad, I'm pretty sure that we'll be seeing Starship begin to ramp up its cadence in Florida, just starting launches and, just beginning to actually inhabit Florida, much more so than they used to back in the old days of the races between, I think it was, Cocoa Beach and Boca Chica.
It'll be honestly really exciting once the Starship program out of Boca Chica or Starbase, once that starts ramping up, it'll be really exciting to see a launch right out of Cocoa Beach here, the Cape, and see a booster catch for the first time over on the Florida coast. Oh my God, that's gonna be gorgeous.
That's gonna be historic,
and we're gonna have amazing views of that. You bet we are going to have.
Naturally.
Yeah. It's been a while since Florida has seen anything that massive, so.
Agreed. Ooh,
absolutely.
Boy. Well, good Lord, even on the Falcon 9 stream, we cannot stop talking about Starship. Really,
it's in our blood.
It's what made us, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, exactly. No matter how much we try to diversify, truly, we can never get away from it. Oh, thank you, Buzz Krogan in the chat. Thank you for the $10. Thank you very, very much. Also, as a member, thank you for your support of the channel. We appreciate it greatly.
Lovely. Speaking of commercial resupply missions to the ISS, fun fact for everybody in the chat: Brandon Wynn, our man on the ground there at KSC right now, and I actually met out there back in 2019 for the SpaceX CRS-17 mission, which is also known as SPX-17, which was a commercial resupply mission to the ISS aboard a Falcon 9. Back on May 4th, 2019, we met at a NASA social event. And now super excited to have Brandon on the Interstellar Gateway team with us as our amazing photographer and videographer as well. Very talented fella out there. And I don't know if he can tap in and say hello to everyone here in chat, but Brandon, if you got a sec, we'd love to hear from you.
He sure can. Hey, everybody. And thanks for the kind words, Kay. I get to do my dream job every day and get to live literally what I dreamed of doing as a child because of you and because of CEO Joey Leal and because of the whole Interstellar Gateway team. And I'm out here literally living my best life, and it's because of all of you guys, and I love you.
Thank you, Brandon.
That is so lovely.
Cheers for
Gotta
Brandon.
love that.
Well, another super chat from our incredible YouTube live chat has come in and has said, 5 likes and I eat the Starship Tower. Incredible. Please don't do that. I think they've invested a lot of money into that tower, and I think it would be a shame for it to be eaten so quickly. I think they might.
I see on the live views there a helicopter seems to have just gone by. Anyone have any idea what that's about?
Probably local news, or
I was gonna
maybe
say.
yeah, maybe just live views for SpaceX.
That is actually, that helicopter that just passed by the pad is, I can't remember the exact kind of helicopter that it is. You'll have to excuse me off the top of my head, but it is NASA's helicopter that they use for airspace clearance operations, for aerial pad checks, for aerial convoy reconnaissance, and various mission applications during crew launches. So you often see those helicopters go airborne just before the crew walks out of the Neil Armstrong building, and they will actually lead the convoy from in the air while they drive the astronauts to the launch pad, as they did today, and then they'll maintain the airspace around the launch pad around the crew just before liftoff.
Gotcha. Thanks for that, Brandon.
Thank you. Well, as we mentioned earlier, there are quite a few features of the Crew Dragon spacecraft that differentiate it from a lot of other spacecrafts, and a lot of facts about the rocket, too, that differentiate it. Kay, I know that you mentioned earlier about... Apologies. Our CEO, Joey Leal, is having quite a bit of fun in the live chat. We've mentioned quite a few specifications of the Dragon capsule. Kay, would you like to talk about some of those?
Yeah, sure. So some of the capsule design features is similar to the Apollo command modules. It has a trunk attached for solar panels, heat removal, radiators, cargo space, and fins for stability during emergency aborts. There is a launch escape system, which I believe Perigi spoke about briefly. The capsule has a launch escape system with Super Draco engines that can quickly separate the Crew Dragon from its rocket in case of any emergency, which is an amazing feature that SpaceX added onto that. As far as propulsion goes, the Crew Dragon is equipped with 16 Draco thrusters for maneuvering in orbit, and each thruster is capable of producing 90 pounds of force in the vacuum of space. For landing, the Crew Dragon is designed for a propulsive landing system, using engines for a gentle touchdown on legs with parachutes as a backup. Always good to have a parachute as a backup and a backup for that, especially if you do things like skydive or fall from space. The interior of the Crew Dragon features a modern design with touchscreens, carbon fiber, and these amazing sleek designed seats, as well as that sleek digital display that you may also notice similar to, say, a Tesla, something like that. Also, that touchscreen feature is a big part of that for our Astros to have ease of use. As far as the trunk goes, the trunk is an unpressurized section at the tail end of the spacecraft, which has fins for aerodynamic control during emergency aborts, is able to carry cargo or small satellites, and is fitted with solar panels that provide power to the spacecraft when it is in flight or docked to the ISS. which if you haven't seen any external pictures of the International Space Station, there are these massive kind of solar arrays kind of sectioned off on the ISS to also provide power to that.
Incredible. Well, we have an incredible question from our super chatters here, which is how big is Falcon 9's yacht? Which I'm going to answer very professionally. The Falcon 9 has an extremely large payload. Expended, it has a payload of over 8.3 tons to geostationary transfer orbit, which is quite large. It is designed to compete with some of the best. However, its biggest bragging right is its low Earth orbit capacity, which is around 22.8 tons when expended, and around 17,500 kilograms when landing on a drone ship, which of course is how it's flying for most of its missions. However, this mission is not a drone ship landing mission. This mission is a return to launch site, or RTLS mission, in which Falcon 9 will conduct an extended boost back burn to bring itself back to the launch site. Now, you might be familiar with this kind of behavior from the Super Heavy booster, which, of course, does a boost back and comes down directly onto the launch tower. However, unlike Super Heavy, Falcon 9 has to conduct an entry burn, which is a burn in which it fires its main engines, the 9 Merlin engines that are in the beginning. However, it only uses a maximum of 3 for the entry burn, to conduct a firing which shoots out the exhaust in front of it, which acts as a makeshift heat shield, allowing it to avoid the problem that Super Heavy experiences with the large amount of heat. This causes Falcon 9 to experience more payload loss because it has to burn off all of this fuel, and of course, not having to do an entry burn is an improvement on Super Heavy that they learned from this rocket, the Falcon 9.
Just to correct myself about the Crew Dragon landing features, they were originally designed for propulsive landings, but then they moved to those chutes for their primary. And starting on the last flight, they enabled firing of those Super Dracos I mentioned in an emergency scenario where the parachutes fail entirely. So their backup is use those Super Dracos instead of an extra parachute, like I said, for skydiving.
Exactly. Well, quick note from Mr. Brandon M. Wynn in our live chat. I'm going through too many technical issues out here for there to only be 26 people in this chat. Like and share to bring people to the launch party. Thank you, Mr. Wynn. Well, of course, like and share. Feel free to join our membership program for additional footage, which you might see from behind the scenes and more on our Starship coverage, this kind of coverage. Of course, we've released some incredible images on our Twitter from this launch, which, if you want to check out, I think personally is phenomenal, and I think you should check it out. But yes, thank you, Mr. Wynn, for that quick message of shilling.
In addition to that, we also have a ongoing podcast series called Beyond the Launchpad, where we typically bring you pre-launch and post-launch episodes. We try to do them in person as often as possible, but they are available on our YouTube channel as well as all streaming services that you may listen to podcasts on, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or somewhere else. We go wherever podcasts go. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Of course. Okay.
Super chat from Brandon, $5. He says, I'm tired from being up at 5 a.m. and just destroyed a second white monster energy. Please supply this man with more donations so that he can continue to stay awake in perpetuity to bring you guys amazing launch views.
Exactly. This stream, we should be tracking the Falcon 9, courtesy of Brandon, by the way. So we'll be able to bring you some exclusive views from launch until landing, which will be, of course, incredible as our streams
About that chat, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it appears we're standing down from tonight.
Oh no!
Here we are.
You're kidding. Well,
I am unfortunately not. It has been an on and off issue all night with the transporter rector hydraulic systems. And it appears that is not something they can fix for tonight.
Well,
Oh. Here we are.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. Hey, listen, I appreciate the safety. Wait, Miranda, can you tell us when you saw that or where you saw that? Because as of 10 minutes ago, SpaceX said Crew-10 is go for launch. Can you just update us on where you found that info?
That is through the grapevine, but I would expect to see confirmation real soon.
All right, we will keep an eye out for
Okay.
that from NASA and or SpaceX.
Exactly. We will stand by.
Indeed. That's
Yep,
okay.
I
At
believe
least
they just said it on the live stream.
okay, makes sense. Well, hey, I would rather these Astros be safe, so
Exactly.
I'm
Better
happy
scrubs.
for a stand down.
Yep, better scrubs than Ruds. Better scrubs than Ruds.
Exactly. And
Every-
we
Yeah,
appreciate their safety, as well as we appreciate you guys for tuning in to what we thought was going to be this very exciting launch. All 28 of you and more over on X. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was glad to hang out with you, however short it may have been.
Yes, indeed. Brandon, did you hear the update, sir?
Yes, he did. He is
Okay, lovely.
commenting in the
Yeah, I've been trying to text you guys in the chat and it hasn't been going through, but I just heard about 2 minutes before you guys did from here on the ground that there's a scrub. Do not take this as official word, but what I'm hearing from around here at the LC-39A press site is that there is a unexpected hydraulic issue. Could potentially be related to the crew access arm. That's potentially scrubbing today's mission.
Oh, yeah, that's
Alrighty.
an important piece
Yeah,
of
it
machinery.
is. Yeah, it's very important that the bits around the rocket that are not supposed to be around the rocket are not around the rocket when it's
Correct.
go time. So,
Exactly.
Righty. Well, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully we will have better coverage, or we may have coverage a little bit later of the Starlink mission that will be going off later today.
Yeah, regardless, keep an eye out, keep your notifications turned on, and we will let you guys know probably on our X account, regardless of what we will do as our next move forward. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Yep.